Who is the greatest high school basketball team of all time? That is a very hard question to answer considering the amount of teams that have a case.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever episode of the Strictly Bball podcast. I'm Nolan alongside my co-host Joe. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. I could not be more excited. This is the first podcast we have ever done. Yep. And if you know anything about Nolan and I, we have a love for basketball that dates back to a long time. And we've been doing social media stuff since 2013 on Vine. So this is a long overdue podcast where we're going to be bringing you our love for every level of basketball. High school, college, NBA, 10-year-olds that are prodigies, whatever it may be, we're going to be bringing you guys on this podcast. I'm very excited.
Very excited as well, especially excited to do it with my longtime best friend. Joe and I have been friends since preschool. We've been neighbors. We grew up together. Both have had a love and extreme passion for the game of basketball. And this podcast is the next big step for us. So let's get right into it. Joe, what story did you bring for us today?
We got a lot of stories on TikTok over the past year, and a lot of them have been about high school. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the greatest high school basketball teams of all time. This team we're going to talk about today has five-star players and potentially 5 or 6 future NBA players. We'll see how that pans out, but the Montverde Academy 2020 high school basketball team. Let's get right into it. Who is the greatest high school basketball team of all time? That is a very hard question to answer considering the amount of teams that have a case. I mean, you could name a few, one of them being the undefeated Dunbar High School team. You probably never heard of it, but it had Muggsy Bogues, Reggie Williams, and Reggie Lewis, who were all great NBA players, a couple other NBA players as well. You could mention St. Vincent-St. Mary's of 2003 and a couple years prior with LeBron James and 4 of his best friends, his childhood best friends. So I think the chemistry on LeBron James' high school team was probably unmatched. I mean, those guys played together since they were 8 or 9 years old in AAU. You could mention Lou Alcindor's or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's high school team, 1964. He was probably the most dominant high school player for his time. Maybe not the best high school player of all time, but his team was ridiculous just because it was Lou Alcindor. I mean, dominated in college too. You could mention Chino Hills with the Ball brothers. They had LaMelo, Lonzo, and LiAngelo, and Onyeka Okongwu, who is also going to be a good NBA player. He was a lottery pick. So that team has a good case. They went 35-0, won the national championship, the most viral high school basketball team of all time. You could mention a lot of different teams, but I'm here to tell you that the best high school basketball team of all time was a team from 2020. This team had 5 5-star recruits, 4 guys who were taken in the first round of the 2021 NBA draft after one-and-done seasons in college, and 1 player who might be taken in the top 5 of next year's draft. Now let's take a deep dive into the best high school basketball team of all time, the 2020 Montverde Academy team. So this team was led by Cade Cunningham. I think most people know who Cade Cunningham is. He was the number 2 player coming out of high school behind Jalen Green. He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2021 NBA drafts. We all know who Cade Cunningham is, and when he's leading your team, that's a pretty good high school team automatically. Cade Cunningham. Montverde has a great storied history. Cade's one of their best players of all time. He went number 1 of the Pistons. We all saw on draft night, and he was playing well in the summer league. So Cade, I mean, he has superstar potential in the NBA. People will look back at his high school team. They're going to see a lot when they look back at his high school team. So let's get into some of the other guys. Number 2 on this team was Scotty Barnes. He was kind of the duo with Cade Cunningham because he was a 5-star senior. Scotty Barnes ended up committing to Florida State. He was the number 4 pick in this year's NBA draft. So we already have 2 top 5 picks on the same high school team. That's not done very often, I think. So we had, looking back, Ben Simmons and D'Lo, Montverde again, both top 5 picks. LaMelo and Lonzo, both top 5 picks on Chino Hills. But 2 top 5 picks on a high school team. Other than that, I don't think there's very many, if there's any.
If there's any, none come to mind for me.
So that duo was incredible. But again, it doesn't stop there. Also, Scotty Barnes going number 4. We can touch on that later, but I feel like he should have gone number 5.
Going pretty early, yeah.
Jalen
Suggs.
Yeah. But I love Scotty Barnes as a prospect. He's going to be, a lot of people compare him to Draymond Green as more athletic Draymond Green, but that's kind of a high ceiling for him.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't stop there. Moses Moody, I'm sure the name rings a bell.
It does. It definitely does.
Like I said at the top of this, they had 5 stars on this team.
Okay. Yeah.
This is Moses Moody, a 4-star, and he's
he's a 4-star.
Yep, 4-star recruit, but committed to Arkansas, and just had an incredible freshman season. 17 points per game.
Wow, that's very impressive. That's really good.
17 points per game as a freshman.
Yep.
So played well enough. He led Arkansas, made the Elite Eight, and Moses Moody was one of the best players, if not their best player as a freshman. Played incredibly well in the SEC tournament. Got drafted 14th overall. That's 3 lottery picks in the same draft from the same high school team.
That's crazy.
So continuing on.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop there. And I mean, if you're counting, that's 2 of the 5 stars on this team. So let's keep going.
Yeah, it's only 2.
Yep. Wrapping up their senior class, Dayron Sharp. Sharp is a 5-star recruit. You might not have heard of him.
I haven't actually.
He was very end of the first round, so he was a first-round pick as well. Committed to North Carolina. I mean, they had an okay year, but Dayron Sharp was a solid big man for them, and was taken 29th in the NBA draft by the Brooklyn Nets, making it 4 first-round picks in one draft class.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
So right there, 4 first-round picks. That's got to be the only high school team with 4 first-round picks other than Chino Hills. Obviously, they had 3.
No, they had 3.
Yeah,
so Lonzo, LaMelo, Okongwu.
Yeah, just those 3.
Yeah, just those 3.
Obviously not LiAngelo, but...
You will never get this. You will never get this. La, 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 la.
I don't know. I didn't do too much research on this, but 4 first-round picks on the same high school team has got to be the first time that's ever happened. But this team does not stop there.
It doesn't stop.
They also featured class of 2021 4-star Langston Love. So again, not a 5-star, but a 4-star Langston Love, who is now entering his freshman season at Baylor. Baylor's coming off a national championship.
Yep.
He's probably going to be a key freshman on another incredibly talented Baylor team.
Yep.
So he's going to be on the biggest stage this year. People are going to look back. Where did he go to high school? 2020 and 2021 Montverde. No surprise there. But again, that's a 4-star recruit. They also have class of 2021 5-star and number 4 overall recruit in the country that just graduated, Caleb Houston. And Caleb Houston has a lot of people excited as a guy who could be a top 5 pick in the 2022 NBA draft. He committed to Michigan. Juwan Howard has that Michigan program rolling at this point. 5-star recruit, top 5 picks. That could make 3 top 5 picks on the same high school team. That certainly has not been done. But it still does not stop there.
It doesn't stop.
Class of 2022, 5-star Dariq Whitehead was also on this team. And I don't know.
5-star.
Yeah, so another 5-star. This is the 5th. Yeah, so this would be the 5th 5-star. Dariq Whitehead.
Crazy.
I don't know the stats of this team. Obviously, Cade and Scotty Barnes were the duo.
Yeah, they're tearing it up.
But a guy like Dariq Whitehead was a sophomore on this team. I don't know how much he was contributing, but nonetheless, it was another 5-star on this team. So 5 5-star recruits. He's actually also ranked number 4 in the class of 2022.
He's
so Caleb
really
Houston,
high.
Houston was 4. Dariq Whitehead is 4 in the 2022 class. So I mean, if you're really speculating a lot, you never know what the guy is entering his junior, or he's entering his senior season of high school. I guess we don't know, but he could potentially be a top 5 pick in the 2023 NBA draft. So
that would be 4 top 5 picks.
That would make 4 top 5 picks.
Is that 6 or 7 first-round picks?
I think, probably 6, unless I said Langston Love. He can maybe be a first-round pick, maybe not likely.
That's insane.
But yeah, so...
On the same team.
Yeah, and I want to look at the stats. I didn't look at the exact stats of this team. I don't know how much guys like Dariq Whitehead were contributing, but yeah, he just committed to Duke, entering his senior season of high school, still with Montverde, and I think the reason I saw his name a little bit was because he was the first commit to Duke in the post-Coach K era, so we'll see how that is for Duke.
Yeah,
with Coach K moving on, but Dariq Whitehead is a top 5 recruit, so obviously Duke can still recruit without Coach K. What are your thoughts on that? That's, like you said, 6 potential likely first round picks, maybe 7, maybe, what do we say? 3, maybe 4 top five picks.
Top 5 picks.
So, I mean, and the other thing about this team, I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. What do you think on that?
The thoughts on the team, I mean, this is one of a kind. This is a super special team. Obviously, they're looking like they could become the best high school basketball team ever. I mean, I would probably say I'm going to give Chino Hills the title right now, given how Lonzo and LaMelo have kind of already, excelled in the NBA.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any of them play real NBA minutes, summer league and whatnot. But come the near future, I feel like they're going to establish themselves as the best high school team.
That's what I was going to say. Like, Chino Hills probably had the most success.
They were 35-0.
Yeah.
I looked it up too. 35-0. They won the state championship.
They won the national championship.
Oh, the national championship. The chemistry they had was just through the roof. The Ball brothers, their chemistry is insane. So I feel like you kind of got to give them the title, at least as of now, given how we haven't seen any of them play.
I was going to mention something like that because what do we grade it on? Do we grade it on how good these players eventually become in the NBA?
That's true.
Or do we, because what if all these guys were ranked highly for a reason? They were incredible high school players. This team was undefeated, I believe, but this was 2020, so they didn't get to compete at nationals because of COVID.
Oh, that does suck.
If you think about that, if this team ends up winning the national championship, Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes going to be great NBA players. Obviously, I think most people consider them the best team, but what if Cade doesn't become a superstar, Scotty Barnes busts, and then Moses Moody's a role player, and we don't look at this team the same way? It's interesting to look at. Do we look at how good this team eventually becomes?
Yeah. Or
how good they were in high school?
Yeah, I like you mentioned that. There's two different perspectives to it because, like you mentioned, like Cade, even though Cade, Scotty Barnes, they're probably going to pan out very well in the NBA. But let's say they're just bust. They don't play up to their, the hype, their capabilities, what people think they're going to play up to. I don't know if you can discredit that because nonetheless they were still outstanding in high school.
Yeah,
very good in college as well. So that's interesting that you mentioned that. And then I really don't know. I don't really have a firm answer of who the best high school team is.
Because Chino Hills kind of has both.
They do have both. I mean, like undefeated national championship. They're such an electrifying team to watch. I loved watching.
LaMelo both panned out, and Onyeka Okongwu is probably going to be a decent NBA player. So that they kind of have both. But there's also I think underrated teams looking back. I believe Mike Conley and Greg Oden were on the same high school team. And looking back on that, you would think Mike Conley is an all-star in the NBA, great NBA career, one of the best Grizzlies of all time.
Yep.
Greg Oden, one of the best prospects of all time, but didn't pan out, so we look at that team differently. But yeah,
it's very true.
This team is incredible.
I don't think we're ever going to see something like this again. Maybe something similar. But I mean, we're talking, what was it, 6 or 7 NBA first-round picks, and then 4 lottery picks. That's unheard of.
5 picks even, but I'll give you counter for that. I think we will see something like this again.
You do.
I think the way things are going in the past, I don't think players knew each other across the country.
Right.
Like you're looking back early 2000s or before that, guys didn't know each other from AAU. They didn't team up. I think the teaming up kind of deal in high school is going to be something that continues. Also, Overtime Elite, the Overtime Elite League, I don't know if you consider that a high school team, but they're going to be a high school group of players that are all pretty much 4 or 5 star recruits. So we'll see how that league is going to be incredible. But
yeah, I mean, thinking about this too, I mean, Montverde, after hearing all this, and then Ben Simmons and D'Lo playing together, would you say that they're the best? They've created the best high school basketball talent.
The best dynasty of
the best,
in the NBA.
Yeah, the best players. If you had to pick high school where the best players come out of, or the most best players have come out of, would you say Montverde? Oak Hill kind of comes to mind for me.
I mean, that would be an interesting list to look at. But
it would be interesting, yeah.
Certainly, RJ Barrett went to Montverde.
He went to Montverde too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
D'Lo, Ben Simmons. Yeah. And there's definitely guys we don't really remember where, especially before YouTube and viral high school teams are a thing. I don't really remember where everyone went to high school, but yeah, Oak Hill is a dynasty. Montverde is a dynasty, but if these guys pan out, certainly Montverde will have the most talent in the NBA.
Mentioning that, dude, what are your thoughts? Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, do you think they're going to pan out? What are your thoughts on them?
Cade, is my number one player in the draft class. I think he has the best chance to be the best player on a championship team out of anybody in that draft class.
I mean, it sucks that he's on the Pistons. I
mean, but the Pistons have more
team.
success than the Wolves all time.
No, I know. I'm just saying the current state of the Pistons just isn't the best, I guess.
They got
players like...
They're going to keep getting young players.
Best players is Grant. At least as of now, Cade Cunningham will probably take that spot very quick.
Yeah.
But
I think that it's his first year in the league. Who knows where the Pistons are going to be in 5 years, which will probably be Cade's prime 5-6 years from now. So, I mean, can't write off the Pistons for ever being good, but Cade is going to be a star. I believe that. I think going down the draft class, Green's going to be a star.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs.
I love Jalen Green.
Jalen Suggs is a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Jalen Suggs. He's from our hometown. But this year's class, top 5 was good. I think the intrigue with this team is now on Caleb Houston, Michigan player. He's going to be... I mean, I don't know too much about him, but he's top 5 player and he's headed to Michigan.
You didn't follow him that much at Montverde?
Not really. I mean, I also just mentioning that, like, I feel like this team didn't even get the kind of hype that they deserved.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of recognition around this team.
I'm sure if you were like a super, like going through YouTube clips all the time, you'd see this team a lot, obviously.
I mean, let's like compare it to like, Chino Hills. Like if you're comparing this to like Chino Hills, the hype and recognition of Chino Hills is like on a different level compared to Montverde. Like for sure.
I think a lot of times people tune in for the national championship, the Geico Nationals, and this team didn't get that opportunity. So I think that's kind of where...
It is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, Caleb Houston, and I don't know who they have coming in other than Caleb Houston, but Michigan's going to be a great team. So I guess one other thought that comes to mind with a team like this is obviously this team is incredible. They competed, they dominated every single team they played. Looking at a team like this, should these guys like Scotty Barnes and Cade Cunningham be able to jump right into the NBA without going to college? Obviously, all these guys went to college. Some players are taking the G League route now, but do you think there's been some chatter over the years about bringing it back, but do you think high school players like these should be able to go straight into the NBA?
I think they should be able to go straight into the NBA. Do I think that it's right, like the right option for them? Not necessarily. Every single one of these guys in specific, I would probably say their best route is either going to the G League or college to develop a little bit more before directly entering the NBA. But I'm all for if a player thinks he's good enough or has that skill level that they should be able to do that. What about you?
I think it's a tough question because I think they should be able to. And I think certain guys definitely could benefit from that. They make money a year earlier. Their rookie contracts are done a year earlier. They're going to make more money. But I think a lot of guys would end up making the wrong choice.
Yeah.
I think is what would happen. Because you can't control who does and who doesn't. If a team wants to take a high school kid in the late second round and give him a non-guaranteed contract, he could end up getting cut and he could regret that. So yeah, I think they should be able to, but I just worry about guys making the wrong choice. And that's why I do like the G League Ignite.
Yep. And it worked out very well for Jalen Green. So, I mean, I have to agree. I feel like now that you get to it, I feel like a lot of players would make the wrong choice and then they just want to make that jump because, their life goal is to make it to the NBA. That opportunity's there. They have the capability to do so, but the skill level and I guess the maturity, I feel like a big part of that comes with the next level. Because like NBA, that's jumping to the highest level.
Yep.
You can still go to G League, college, like that's the next level. Then the next level.
And that's where a lot of development happens.
Yes.
That's it. First episode of the Strictly Bball podcast is in the books.
Make sure you keep up with us on our socials. It's just at Strictly Bball on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And then also leave a comment, drop a follow, and give us a review on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. We will see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.